Hey guys, welcome to your daily stretch. Today we will be stretching into our shoulders. We will be working through the poses of shoulder pow and wide dog. Remember, these are after exercise stretches. So if you are ready, gather any and all props that you like to use and meet me back on your mat. Good. So the first pose that we're going to come into is wide dog. So go ahead and come into tabletop position. And let's start with using our blocks. And of course, you can remove these blocks as we come into the pose when you find maybe you feel like you don't need them. But it's always nice to kind of start off using the props just as a check-in to see how the body is feeling. So let's bring make sure I have some space here. Bring your hands on top of your blocks, and we want to make sure we palm the block. We don't want to grip them or anything of that sort. So if you can, just palm the hands on top of the blocks. We want to, squeezing them starts to engage that fight or flight side of the nervous system, and we really want to stay engaged with the rest and digest side so the muscles can relax and we can really get in on that stretch. So come into your tabletop position, hands underneath your shoulders, and make your way up into a downward facing dog. Good. It's gonna be a little awkward here for the angle, I'm sorry you guys, but I'm sure we'll be able to figure this out. So hands stay on your blocks, shoulder width apart, and you're gonna step your feet out wider than your mat. And you might have to play around with the placement of the blocks because you want to come to a space where the heels are firmly planted on the ground. Maybe you need to bend the knees slightly so you can press the hips up and back just like in down dog. Wherever you're at though, you want to have the heels planted on the ground, pressing the weight into the heels. Here we go, 5 minutes. Head just drops and hangs in between the arms, closing the eyes, breathing here. Finding that stillness. Option to add more blocks if you need to underneath your hands. Maybe you bend a little bit more through the knees so you can press the weight back more into the heels. Shoulders roll down away from the ears. We don't want to scrunch them up by the ears. And once you find your wide dog, just start to settle in. Let the head hang. This is an inversion as well. So this is very therapeutic for the nervous system and the circulatory system while we're stretching. So we're going to take full advantage of all the benefits that this pose can do for us. Deep breath. And as you settle in here, you might feel the body start to shift forward. If you feel that, just gently guide the hips back and up and the weight back into your heels. Breathe here. This shoulder flexion here. Yes, we've got stretch happening in our hamstrings, the calves, our back. It's really hard to isolate one spot of the body when we're stretching, but we just got the 15 minutes today to stretch, so we might as well embrace being able to access more than one part of the body when we come into these poses. Deep inhales through the nose. Long, slow, gentle sighs out the mouth. Those exhales will really help to relax the muscles. The body will soften. Allow us to come in a little bit deeper into our stretch.
have to go. And remember, you don't have to hold any of these poses for the full 5 minutes. If you want, you can keep a timer with you and see how long you can hold these poses. And then the next time you come into this shape, see if you can hold it for the same amount of time, and then see if you can hold it just for a little bit longer. I want to try to get to at least 2 minutes for each of these holds. It'll help really train the nervous system to be calm in these poses. And then you can work your way up to the 5 minutes. Remember, this is a lifelong practice. You have a whole life to come in deeper into the pose, hold them for the full 5 minutes. Maybe we'll never get to the full 5 minutes. That's okay. We're using this practice to help support the body, increase our flexibility, which will ultimately help support our strength building practice. It'll help with the mobility, our balance, help us, our future selves, in whatever activity we may participate in. Good. Go ahead and step your feet in, about hips width apart. Bend your knees, come on down. Set your blocks to the side. Maybe shake it out, shake it out. If you want, we can go ahead and take a twist here. That always feels really good. Go ahead and reach your arms long overhead and just twist over to the right, either in a seated position or hero's pose. And then we'll come on up to the center, reach, and then twist over to the left. Okay, come back to the center, shake it out, especially our wrists. If you need to flick the fingers, feel free to do that. Shake it out. All right, we're gonna move into shoulder pow next. So sit however feels comfortable for you. You can sit in a cross-legged seated position. You can sit up on the edge of a table or a chair. You can sit in hero's pose with blocks underneath. That's my personal favorite. Place a block in between the heels. Just sit in a manner that the hips and the back, the knees, everything feels okay and supported here. We'll have that stretch happening in our ankles as well. If at any time it starts to get to be too much, you can roll up the back edge of your mat and place that underneath your heels. You can use a blanket as well. Go ahead and grab your strap. I want to turn back facing you guys. We're going to come into shoulder pow here next. Go ahead and throw that strap over the left shoulder. Get comfy here. Bring your arms out into a T. We're going to find that internal rotation in the left hand. So turn your arms so the thumb points down. Bend your elbow, reach back for the strap. You know what? I think I did it. You guys, I always switch these up. Let's try it the other way. Bring your hands to a T, and we're going to internally rotate the right hand. Turn so your thumb points down. Reach back for the strap. There we go. That feels good. Thumb points up, left hand, bend the elbow, reach back for the strap. Good. You're going to take the strap, hold it on with both hands here, and you're going to pull the strap as if you're trying to rip it apart. And you'll feel that. When you come into it, you'll feel the shoulders are kind of rounding forward and the chest is closing off. Holding onto the strap and pulling it apart as if you're trying to rip it will help lift the chest. Shoulder blades draw in towards one another and opens the chest up towards the sky. Make sure you're not overarching lower back. There is a neutral position for the pelvis. And the elbows are going to start our time here, maybe. Elbows are going to point up towards the sky and point down towards the ground. Good, and to deepen the stretch, you'll just crawl your hands in towards one another along the strap, holding onto the strap. Head just rests here into the left forearm. And of course, as you're here, if you need to go deeper, even deeper to find for shoulders, we'll probably hover around maybe a 6 or 7, just depending on how the shoulders feel. If you're recovering from an injury, you want to back out of the intensity, but we're going to hover here around a 6 or 7. So move your hands in closer to another or further away to find that intensity level. Stay there and breathe there. If you don't have a strap, you can always use a belt or a dish towel. Even hold on to the back of your shirt. You're drawing the shoulders in towards another, opening up the chest. Closing the eyes, breathing here. Okay, we're going for the 5 minutes. You do not have to hold this for the full 5 minutes. In fact, I don't recommend that you do if you're first starting out or if you have anything going on in the shoulders. Aim to holding each side for at least 2 minutes if you can. And then slowly work your way up towards the 5 minutes. Deep breaths. Deep inhale through the nose and long, slow, gentle sighs out the mouth. If you need to count for the distraction while you're here, the inhale is a count of 4, and the exhale is a long, slow, gentle sigh out the mouth for the count of 8. If that is not working, you can release the count. Just focus on a deep inhale in the nose, longer exhale out the mouth. Maybe just count to 100. You probably won't get to 100 unless you count really super duper fast before we are done with the stretch. Before making any changes in the shape, try your breath first. A lot of times it's just the nervous system that needs a big hug, letting it know that we're okay. If you need to back out of it, if it's too much, too intense, we're going in too deep, and slide your hands away from one another. For any of these poses, even if you can't hold on to the strap, just get into the shape as close as you can. This will help train the muscles. Will start stretching out a little bit more. The nervous system will get used to the shape, and you'll be able to find a deeper stretch as you practice and with time. Good. Slowly release the strap. Slowly bring your arms down. Maybe find some noodle arms. Shake it out a little bit. That is a tough stretch, especially for her shoulders. If you need to, you can find some gentle circles, one direction and the other. Just be very gentle. Good, and let's come into the other side. Place that strap over the right shoulder, making sure I get it right this time. Bring your arms out into a T shape. This time we're going to internally rotate the left hand. So turn so that the finger is pointing down, the thumb's pointing down to the ground. Bend the elbow, reach back for the strap. Right hand, thumb points up. Bend the elbow, reach back for the strap. I'm going to start our time here. Here we go. Take a hold of the strap. Start to pull on the strap as if you're trying to rip the strap in half. As you do that, you'll feel the chest lift and the shoulder blades draw in toward another, opening the chest up towards the sky. Left elbow points down towards the ground, right elbow points up towards the sky. Letting the head gently rest or press into the right forearm. And just make sure that you're not overly tilting the pelvis, finding a back bend here. You want a neutral pelvis supporting the body. And once you settle in, start to close the eyes and breathe here. Again, even if the holding on the strap is too much, you can release the strap and just hold on to your shirt. Or even if you can't come all the way into this shape, just release it and get as close as you can to the shape. Time and practice, you'll gently stretch the muscles, allowing you to come into a deeper version when the muscles in the body are ready. Again, to deepen this stretch, you'll slide your hands in towards one another on the strap. You can even release the strap and interlace your fingers. And to back out of it, you'll just slide your hands away. Wherever you're at, just close the eyes and breathe. Inhales through the nose, long, slow, gentle sighs out the mouth. Softening the muscles in the face, not gripping too tightly on the strap there. Checking in with that level of intensity. You're going to feel this tension the most in the right shoulder here. Just hovering around that 6, 7 out of 10, or backing out, especially if you have anything going on in the shoulders. Slowly, slowly release. Bring the strap down, just drop it to the side here and shake it out. Maybe find some noodle arms, careful, hit anything around you. Maybe you find some arm circles one way and the other. Maybe you bring your arms across, whatever you need to do to kind of break up that tension. From you guys, we held it for 5 minutes. We are rock stars. You are a rock star. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for stretching with me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can be the first to know when the next video drops. Until the next time, I will see you then.